Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tinaahull. How are you doing? And I know a few of you are coming on shortly, so all's good. So I just wanted you to take a minute and reflect. How has it, how was it yesterday after we did the stepping um, into her or him, your higher self? How has that experience made you feel? Were you able to hold it for longer than the session that we had? Or did you automatically revert back to the old self? Did you find yourself thinking different, feeling different, doing different things that maybe you wouldn't have done before or have resistance to doing, and now all of a sudden, no resistance? This is the magic, right? So, what have you noticed this week as well? Like the mind chatter at the beginning of the week. I mentioned that it's important for us to think about what or pay attention to our mind chatter. So did you notice things coming up? Were you able to notice them in such a way that you could write them down? And what were the consistent themes, the consistent things that were being said to you and you were hearing? Because there will be some consistency. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that you will notice different things that will come up, and repetitively there'll be certain things as well. So pay attention to those, especially because those are the ones that are actually going to give us even more clues into what's going on in our minds, in our subconscious minds. So then the other question is, for those of you who are on the replay, how many of you did the list of all the things that you're either grateful for, appreciate, or love, whatever works for you best, about your body and about your life? And how many were you able to list? So I can do 100 things that I'm grateful for, and that's not including my body. Some of it is, but not a lot of it. So how many have you been able to do? And then the other thing yesterday, our homework was to be able to do 50 I am statements. I am what? Were you able to do those? And how many were you able to do? And did you find it difficult? So this is something that we really want to tap into often, as much as we possibly can, because these are going to help us shift in a big scale. And the I am statements alone, if you can do them for 30 days and either do more per day or do them same ones often, read them every day, or you can add to your list. You can leave the list on your table or somewhere that's visible and read them and then add to them to the list, especially if you didn't reach 50. Okay. And the I am statements has an energetic resonance. There's a vibration, there's a frequency that gets when we say I am. This is why when we did the identity work yesterday, I really want you to tap into your awareness and realize if you are identifying with your illness, condition, disease. And if you are, then there's definitely something that you need to heal, release, let go of. Okay. So sadly, we see other people's greatness and not realize our own. And what I encourage you to do is actually ask a friend, a family member, someone close to you, to help you with your list. Now, this is going to take some vulnerability. You might feel a little raw and uncertain about doing the list with somebody else. And this is not about ego. It's not about stroking it. It's not about trying to get compliments. What happens a lot of times, I've noticed this over the last couple of years, is that, and I'm guilty of this. We all are. We have blinders on when it comes to our greatness. And what also can happen is that we don't realize that other people don't have what we have. Other people don't do what we do, but we don't realize it. We just assume that if it's easy for us and something that happens, everybody must be able to do it. And this was something that really came to the fold when I had started getting more curious about things in my life. And when I did, and I started to actually pay more attention, there were a lot of things that were coming up for me. And one of the things that I realized is that when I speak to people, I empower them, especially if we have a one-to-one phone call. And so when I talk about being an empowerment activator, it's because there's a part of me that sees the greatness in you and can draw it out, and also can then turn around and make you aware of it. And you then feel that empowered state. So it's part of who I am. But I thought it was something that everybody did and has, and it's not. Now, my gifts are not your gifts, and vice versa. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no competition. It's just awareness. And how amazing is it to actually be able to sit down with yourself and write out all the things that are great about you and become more consciously aware of them. So friends will say that, you've got good energy. Maybe they'll say that you have a tendency to get quiet when other people are loud or boisterous. Now, I'm not I don't want you to go into the critical end of things or the judgment end of things. Keep it positive, keep it light. This is supposed to be kind of fun. It's like being the investigator in your own life. Okay. So remember, once you realize them and these beliefs, the mind chatter that you're going through, and if you write down an I am statement and you get mind chatter, then pay attention and again, write it down and then ask yourself those 6 questions and to unravel the belief behind the thought. Okay. And this is how we really get to the subconscious mind. We want to bring things to the conscious mind as much as we can, because once we get it to the conscious mind, then we can heal it, clear it, and let it go. But once it's still in the subconscious mind, then it's going to run the show and we're not even going to be aware of it. Okay. So remember that most of our beliefs are also not true. Now, this was a hard thing for me to swallow, because I thought, well, if I think it and I believe it, it must be true. And this is why we ask ourselves, whose voice is it? And who has been telling us these things? Because oftentimes it is not ours. It's an old boyfriend, husband, child, parent, friend growing up, bully, any number of people. And that's the layers of crap that we've had on us all these years. Okay. So remember that everything is energy, your thoughts, your feelings, things we speak out loud, the stories that we tell to ourselves and to others, the beliefs that we have, and your identity, who you think you are, all has a vibration and a frequency. So we have to become aware of these things in order for us to, again, bring it to the conscious mind, release it and let it go so it doesn't have the power and control over you anymore. I hope this makes sense. And above all are all part of what holds us back and keep us from manifesting what we actually desire. So remember, again, manifestation equation is manifestation, which equals the desire plus the belief, and then the action that we take, or habits we have, or behaviors we have. And we're usually taking it from the wobble in the beliefs. So if our beliefs aren't solid that we can heal, then something's going on and we probably going to hold ourselves back from the healing process. Okay. So we have 17 seconds in our mind chatter to stop it from gathering another negative thought. And you can do it. It's kind of amazing, actually. So since I've been doing this work, I've noticed that I can stop myself in the middle of a sentence from saying something negative about myself, because I realized what I was going to say is untrue. So sometimes what can happen is that we will tend to go back to the old habits, to our old behaviors, to our old thought pattern, and we will say them again as truth when they're no longer true. And I was doing this for a while. It was very intriguing. And I would say I'm catching myself. And I mentioned that the other day is when I was talking to that coach. I said that I'm not wealthy and I shouldn't be teaching it. But wealth has different connotations and definitions for different people. And even though my relationship with money is not solid yet, it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of teaching about wealth, about love, about relationships, about money, about our health, about spirituality. Okay, so we want to catch ourselves as quickly as we can. So if we miss that first thought and it gathers another thought, then we have 64 seconds before another thought takes us into that negative downward spiral. And then it's got too much momentum, and the only thing that's going to stop it is either going to sleep or meditating and or trying to distract ourselves. And usually at that point, distracting ourselves in the meditation usually aren't going to help, because we get up all in our heads so much that it's hard to unravel and undo. So what I would recommend, which is what I've done, is just tap into the heart. When what's happening is you're going into your head too much. And maybe because you're new to the practice of paying attention to the mind chatter, you're feeling a little crazy. And you can feel a little crazy when you start to pay attention to all the thoughts that are going through your head. and allow yourself to have compassion and just take it slow. There's no rush. The more you do it, more often you do it, then the quicker you will get through it. And if it's too much, it's too much. You want to work with your body and your nervous system and not put you in more of a downward spiral so that you're getting into anxiety, overwhelm, and heightened stress. That defeats the whole purpose. Okay. So, what belief could you have instead thought or felt to help you feel like your desire is more attainable? So if it feels too big and there's too much mind chatter around, I am healing, I am healed, I am healthy, I am well. If those statements feel too big and untrue, you can put that little phrase, I'm willing to believe I am, or I can be. And, or you want to soften those phrases. Okay. So what could be more true? I'm on the way. I am on the way to becoming healthy. I am on the way to becoming healed. I am willing to believe that I can heal. So whatever those thoughts are that your mind chatter isn't going and the ego is not saying bullshit, not going to happen. So for example, let's talk about money because it's what we understand on a big scale. And let's say on an extreme that you want $1 million and you certainly can have it. It certainly can happen. It's happened for many people that I know of within a couple of years. There's a lot of work behind it, but it can happen. So it's not unattainable. It just seems impossible. And because it's too extreme, especially if you only have $200 in your account and you're freaking out because you're not sure how you're going to pay your bills next week, then that's when the mind chatter is going to start. So we want to soften it. How about we can make $1 million in our lifetime? Is that possible? If you're making $30,000 over 30 years, that's possible. It's $900,000. And that's if you haven't, no, 30, so it'd be $36,000 a year. And over 10 years, that's 360,000. So over 30 years, it would be well over $1 million. So I'm willing to believe that I will be a millionaire over a lifetime. That might be a phrase that you would say. Okay, so the other part of this is that if you are in this place where you only have $200 and you're not sure how you're going to pay your bills. So we talked about this yesterday. And we talked about it when we're paying too much time and energy and using our senses to realize, quote unquote, stay in our reality, our now moment, and it looks and feels like we're in lack. But 200 could become 2,000. Again, like this. It can change, but we stay stuck in what we see and what we're aware of. And this is why we want to shift our awareness away from reality. Okay. So if this is where we go into trust and we have faith that everything will work out for us. And oftentimes I would go through this cycle where at the end of the month, it doesn't look very good, get a little worried and panicked over the fact that I'm not sure how the money's where it's gonna come from. And then I get a couple of massage therapists or a foot orthotic coming through the door and bills are paid, just like that. So we oftentimes catastrophize things. We worry before we need to. So if we can stop that, that would be a good thing. So we're going to worry about tests that are going to come up. We're going to worry about how we're going to feel possibly after treatment or after we take our medication. And we're going to worry about how we feel directly after or in a couple of days after. And then this worry, that's the mind chatter, is not going to help us get into a space of either neutrality, where it just is what it is. Okay, I'm not feeling well today. That's fine. I'm not going to make it mean anything. I'm just going to go to sleep, or I'm going to watch Netflix all day, or I'm just going to zone out, read a book. It is what it is. And then the next day is starting from scratch. And so then we can decide what we're going to do the next day. But we're not going to go into the mind chatter and the future catastrophization of what can happen. So we want to realize that fear can be real or imagined. There was this one gentleman that I was following for a while, John Assaraf, and he was saying he is a neuroscientist and he does a lot with the mind and mindset and shifting minds and calming the nervous system. And so he was working with this lady who had this severe fear of spiders. And when they got to the root cause, it was because of a movie that she watched when she was young that scared the living crap out of her, to the point where now she had this intense fear of spiders. And once she realized that, the fear went away. This is why it's important for us to get to the root cause of these things and not just superficial healing. This is when you're working with me, we get to the root cause. And this is why it doesn't take as long. I mean, there might be more than one root cause, but most of the time, if that one root cause is taken away, then a lot of the other causes are eliminated, because it's built one upon the other. It's like a building block. Okay. So try not to, this is our job, excuse me, try not to actually dwell on the lack in your life. So if you lack money, if you lack health, you lack love, you lack happiness and joy, these things can all change. I promise you they can. And it's got to come from you. So we are in a lack consciousness, then we will attract more like. So this is law of attraction. So like begets like. You're in lack, what's going to happen? More lack. You get worried and you have fear and you're overwhelmed and you have anxiety, you're future catastrophizing. Well, what's going to happen? More of that's going to be attracted to you, because it's in your energetic field. It's like this magnet. Do you remember those little bat and ball where it was like this, what do they call those? Like stickies, where they're part of it was where it would catch it, the ball, and it would not go away. It's because that's what the attraction is. It's in your auric field. So you are feeling in lack. That's the energy projecting more things to feel lackful about. So what Abraham and Hicks talks about is the two ends of the stick. You have the positive end of the stick and the negative end of the stick. And you can have 5 areas of your life which are going really bad or not great. And there might be one area in your life which is going really great. And what they recommend is you pay attention and focus on as much as you can on that one thing. And if you focus on that one thing that's working better than the rest of them, then your energetic field, your vibration, your frequency will rise. And all of a sudden, what's going on here, because now this is the positive focus that we're on, is going to attract more positive to us. It can be that simple. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. Not unless, again, that's a belief that we have. We tell ourselves stories. So one of the members a couple of days ago mentioned that she's getting chemo, and she was saying she was surprised on how well she's doing. And I don't think she's getting a lot of symptoms. But because she said that, I brought it to her attention, because it doesn't have so the norm doesn't have to be your reality. We're not playing on the earth plane. We're not playing on the normal. We're playing in the quantum. And remember, all things with God, universe, source, your higher power, whatever you reference it as, is limitless and has abundance in all areas and wants to see you thrive. You are meant to thrive. You are meant to be well. You are meant to be in love and to be loved and be lovable. You were born worthy. You were born deserving, and nothing has changed. So we want to come from that energy and pick what's working in your life. If you have the most incredible love relationship in your family, with your partner, allow them to love you up and focus on them. Take the focus away from what's not working and go into the focus of what is working, and stay in that energy and feed it. We want to amplify the good and allow because the amplification of the good is so strong, then this will die off. So it's like 2 trains. You've got 2 trains of thought. You've got your positive, you've got your negative. And your negative train right now is got steam because you're feeding it with your thoughts, your feelings, your stories, your beliefs, your how you see yourself, your identity. And it's going faster and faster because we're putting more and more into it. And the positive train is staying back because we're not putting anything, because we're not conscious and paying attention to what we're saying, doing, thinking, feeling, stories we're telling, identity, okay, and the beliefs we have. And so now what you're going to find is this train is going to start to slow when you start to pay more attention, focus on what's working, focus on the love in your life, or whatever the area in your life is going really well. And it just keeps moving. And then all of a sudden, the negative train will slow down and maybe even come to a stop and won't be an issue anymore. I know it seems simplistic. It's not easy, but it has to be a concerted effort. Remember, 51% of our days have to be in this energy of looking for the positive, looking for things to be grateful for, looking for things to appreciate, looking for things to make us happy, looking for things to allow us to create amazing experiences and beautiful memories. That's how we shift things and change things. So the most challenging part of manifesting can be what we desire. And our job is to align and feel into our bodies that what we desire as if it's already ours, because it already is. So remember, you ask, the universe receives it, aligns it up. We've got all the cooperative components, the people, the places, the circumstances all ready. And then the next question is, are you a cooperative component? Or do you have your thoughts, your feelings, your stories, your beliefs, your how you see yourself? That's the obstacle. And it's waiting, this vortex of goodness, health, love, money is all waiting for you to align to it and to open the fist. I hope this is making sense. So the good Lord, God, source, the universe, your higher power, whatever you want to call it, knows what you want. You have asked for it, and you have asked for it, and you have asked for it. And the more you ask for it now, it's doubt. It's not based in faith and trust because we keep asking for it. So remember about the GPS yesterday, right? So we put the GPS coordinates in the car. We don't worry about it. We're singing and we're chatting to our car mate if we have one, or we're singing to ourselves at the top of our lungs and people are looking at us strange as they're driving by. And maybe you've got a drink in your car, or maybe you've got some snacks and you're feeling really good. And because you're in full trust, you don't have any doubts, any fears, any worries that your car is going to be misdirected. So when we're in our heart, trust resides in our heart. And if we tap into our heart every day, morning and night at least, and we stay in that energy, things will change for the positive. Okay. Now, the caveat is we got to be patient because it's not on our timing, it's on the divine's timing. This is where I trip up often. Things are going well and I'm feeling good, but the thing that I want isn't showed up, but I'm feeling good anyway in spite of it. And I keep looking behind me. Where is it? It's not here yet. Or it's not coming in the way that I thought it would. And because it's not coming in the way I thought it would, then I'm not actually seeing it as actual evidence that I'm getting what I want. And it can take a minute. If we put parameters around it, that it has to come by this day, at this time, that's an obstacle we're putting in our way unnecessarily. It's not on our timing, it's on the good Lord's timing. Okay, so keep that in mind. We have to be patient because even though you can get what you desire in an instant, most of us aren't capable of it, and most of us aren't ready for it. So, gentleman that I follow, Oliver Nino, had gone for an energy healing, and the healing was so powerful that within a couple of weeks of him getting the energy healing, he got all the money that he wanted for that year in like hours. But he made so much money in that time frame that he didn't know how to keep it and hold it. So what did he do? Spent it. And then ended up back where he was a couple of weeks later. This is why when you hear people who win the millions end up spending it in a very short period of time, and then at the end said they wish they never had it because they weren't ready for it. They didn't know how to receive that kind of money, and they didn't have the know with a wherewithal of the fact that maybe they need to hire certain people to help them, guide them in a healthy way to be able to maintain and keep it so they would have a lovely lifestyle moving forward. Okay, so we have to be a cooperative component. Remember, our ego mind will always want to bring us back into the comfort zone, which is in lack, in fear, in worry, in stress, in disappointment, in resentment, in frustration, aggravation, whatever the words are. My biggest thing was frustration, constantly being frustrated. Gratefully, with the healing that was done for me, I don't have that sense anymore. And this can happen for you too. Okay. So I know when it's your mind and or your body that you are struggling with, it's not easy to detach from because it's part of who you are. You are with you every day. And I really want you to look for the good feelings. Look for the good moments. Look for the good days. And be in deep gratitude for those times. Send your body healing love and light to the parts that are unwell, that are not working, that are struggling and creating the unwellness. And remember, the more higher frequency your body is, on average, means that your cells are functioning on a higher scale and working more in harmony. And because they're working more in harmony, then you're getting better and better all the time. Okay. So if you have any questions, please put them in the Facebook group. I have sent out 4 emails with the headline Heal Your Body Blueprint. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4 links. I have now transferred the information from Zoom because my storage is getting full. And when I put this one on tomorrow, then I'm going to be taking it out of my Zoom because it will be all on YouTube. What's going to happen is on Monday, you have until midnight, Monday night, to watch day 1. Day 2 will come down Tuesday night at midnight, and so on throughout the week. Okay. Now, the reason why is not because I don't respect that you're busy and you have things going on. The reason why is because we don't make ourselves a priority, and this is forcing your hand. to make you a priority. This information is valuable and it can shift things on a big scale. And I promise you that if you do this, take notes, listen to the recordings over and over again, it will help you and will lead to your healing if you incorporate some of these things into your daily life and daily practices. You can take back control. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I do an energetic release is our faith and our intuition and hearing. So once you do some of the clearings, especially yesterday's clearing, the Wednesday's clearing with the sticky notes, and today's clearing that we're going to do. Once you do those a few times, and the heart coherence, actually, all of them, quite honestly, they will all help you get more clarity of thought. And when you get more clarity of thought, you can become more aware. And when you become more aware, that's when the magic happens. We've got to bring these things to our conscious mind. We have to pay attention. We've got to get curious. And honestly, it can be fun. I've caught myself a few times saying some weird things, and I'm like, what am I saying? Why am I saying that? So it can happen and make it fun. Why not? You're not having fun right now, so you might as well make it fun going forward. And the more fun you make it, actually, the easier it will feel. And I would almost be totally surprised if it didn't mean that you were going to heal that much faster. Okay. So at the end of each email is also the link to my Facebook group, and you are welcome to join the group if you're not already in it and ask me anything. I may not address it. If it's big, then I might do a live in the group. But it's about you, for you. Okay. If you found this masterclass valuable and you want to keep them, then you would pay $47 and before the end of Friday next week, and then you get them for a lifetime. If not, then it will eventually be repackaged and sold for $333, just so you know. Now, at the back end of this, I'm going to create a program. Actually, I already created it. I held this program 2 years ago, and I only did it for 6 weeks, and I realized it wasn't enough. So now it's going to be a 3-month intensive program, and we're going to meet at least once a week. I haven't really defined what that looks like yet because people are restricted in time. Not everybody has time, wealth. So what I did before, which is what I may maintain again, is I did a Facebook Live in the group that you could or couldn't attend, you didn't have to attend, about a concept like the beliefs. And then that week we had a 2-hour conversation that you were able to ask the questions about it. Okay. So what the focus and purpose of it all will be to get you to heal. Heal your mind, heal your body, heart, your soul. Have you come into alignment so that you are on the path, if not healed by the end of it. The results that you will get, you will feel more empowered. You will feel more in control, especially of your mind. There will be some conversation around emotional intelligence and triggers. There'll be a conversation around tapping into God, source, the universe, your higher power, and being in the God zone more often so that we are on this quantum path of healing, not just healing like everybody else. My desire and my mission and my vision is to have people heal quickly and not have to drag it out, spend thousands and thousands of dollars and years of your time and your energy, which is extremely valuable because there's so little of it that we have, and get you to a point where you can start to use these things, these tools for yourself. Now, this is not for you if this is new to you, because I had a lady in the last round and this information was new and she was in huge resistance to putting it into practice and play. And that's not, you are capable. You know that this is what you want. You're committed to your health, to showing up for yourself. You're going to be a good student. You're going to have an open mind and an open heart. So if these are things that I repeat from even the masterclass, that you're going to be willing to hear it again, because it lands differently every time. This is why I actually recommend, and I've done it for myself in programs, listening to things over and over again, because you are a different person than you were even from Monday. You are. And so you're going to hear things that I said and not even remember hearing it because you weren't available for that information at that time. I hope that makes sense. Okay. You're going to come away feeling happy, healthy, and thriving. Lighter, clearer mind, and it's going to ripple to your family. So if what you're going through, you have a family and you feel guilty and ashamed and embarrassed and weak because your family has been stressed, worried about you, in fear of your health and what's going on with you, then this is for you, because you also learn not to worry about other people. You can care about them, but not at the detriment of yourself. So you're going to get in harmony with not just yourself, but with everybody else. And if there needs to be a lesson or two on how not to people please, this is a big factor for a lot of people, then we'll do that. If there needs to be a lesson or two around being an empath and how to protect your energy, we will do that. So I'm going to customize the information depending on the people. And it's going to be a price of $3,888. And if you decide this is a yes for you, you have until Friday, and it'll be at a discount of $2,888. $1,000 savings for 3 months of me and the community, and being able to have people that you can work with and you can rely on and become friendly with and support each other through things when I'm not around, because there'll be time zone changes And the time zone changes will, sometimes I will be sleeping while you won't be. And other people will be available. So this is just going to be for 5 people only, because the work is going to be very intense. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited about this. If you step into this, it's going to change your life, because it's going to be holistic, and it's about all of it. It's not going to be just about isolating your health, although that will be your number one factor. But at the end of it, I want you to have it all. Get what you desire. The program's called Heal Your Body Blueprint. Again, this was just a taster. We go in deeper for those 3 months. If you have any questions, if you want to, actually, what I recommend is DMing me if you're interested. And because it's limited to 5 people, then I'll be sending out applications and we'll see if we're a good fit. Because I absolutely don't want you to say yes when it's not something that's going to work for you. I'm not interested in taking your money for the sake of taking your money. And I shouldn't have taken that lady in. And I thought she was ready. So, but I need you to be the type of person that is going to be committed, and to be the type of person who can do the work on their own, as well as having support from me in the community. Okay? Any questions? I'm open to it. So just drop me a DM and we'll have a conversation. We can book a call and we can go from there. Now, before we leave, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to get you to get nice and cozy. Close your eyes. Bring all your energies back to you. All from the day, all the worries, all the fears. And if me suggesting the price put you in a little bit of a shell shock and kicked in your nervous system, then pull it all back. Take some nice deep belly breaths. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. And with the intention of releasing and letting go of what no longer serves you with every exhale, so this particular energy healing is going to be directed at the brain only. And it's going to help you with anxiety, overwhelm, heightened stress, reduce the mind chatter, reduce the catastrophization. So if that's why you're here, then this definitely will help you. You can listen to it daily until it comes down if you choose. So I'm going to get you to envision a cutting tool of choice. It could be a sword, it could be scissors, it could be a knife, it could be a machete, it could be anything. Whatever you're seeing, sensing, feeling, or knowing. And then you're going to see a color. It could be white, pink, black, blue, yellow, anything. And then you're going to cut on the top of the head. You're cutting, 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 cutting all the cords, all the attachments to you from other people, places, and things that have held you back, kept you stuck, debilitated you mentally, emotionally, or physically in any way. Keep cutting. Cutting, cutting, cutting. Keep cutting. And then you want to, sorry if you're hearing my ex-husband, I apologize. Cutting the back of the head into the mind, any cords that are attached to, again, people, places, or circumstances, to help it release and let them go from the past, the present, the future, or even a past life. Cutting, cutting, cutting. And cutting down the back of the neck into the shoulders. Cutting across the front of the head, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw. Cutting, cutting, cutting. Cutting anything that's debilitating you, keeping you into the lax state, keeping you into the energy of it's not going to happen for me. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Whatever the thoughts, the feelings, the stories, the beliefs, the old identity is. Coming down into the neck, front of the neck, the throat. The throat is a big energy center where we hold back words that we want to say and share and maybe taught not to, or we don't want to vocalize because we're scared if we say it, then it will come true. So again, remember that what we say can come true if we believe it. If we don't believe it and we're just putting voice to it, it doesn't have to mean anything. Cutting from the top of the head down the right side, the masculine energy across the head, the ear, face, the jaw, down the neck, into the shoulder, any masculine energy which can come from a woman as well, that again has held you back, kept you stuck, debilitated, or disempowered you in any way. Cutting, cutting, cutting. And again, it could be from your past life, just your childhood, middle of your life, or present day. Cutting on the left side now, this is feminine energy, across the face, the jaw, the skull, the ear, into the neck, and shoulders. On the left side, on the feminine energy side. Anything we heard or overheard as a child. Any of the old beliefs that we heard or felt or believe that come from feminine energy. Cutting, cutting, cutting. Now we're going to go into the mind, into the amygdala. Now the amygdala is in the center of your forehead, behind your eyes. It's the seat of the soul, your connection to God, source, the universe, your higher power. And oftentimes this gets blocked. And maybe we blame God, maybe we're upset at God, maybe we're frustrated with God, your higher power, whatever it is. Keep cutting around that area to clean and clear it. So you can start to hear the nudges and the whispers and the suggestions for you to do things that don't make sense necessarily. You might hear, go here, and you might question it. Don't question it, just do it. Go there, don't question it, just do it. And remember, sometimes we are part of other people's plan. In order for them, we're a cooperative component to show them and allow them to get what they want and desire. So keep following the nudges, listening for them and trusting them, believing in them, having faith that will lead you to the path of least resistance so that you can heal. Now cutting around the hippocampus, cutting. Now this is the part of the brain that can take over the prefrontal cortex, that can lead to anxiety and overwhelm and the catastrophization. And it can get bigger with stress over time. So we're going to cut around it. You don't have to need to know where it is. Just set the intention to cut around your hippocampus. Cutting. Anything that's caused it to become out of balance, out of harmony. Keep cutting. Cutting. Keep cutting. Keep cutting. Cutting around the prefrontal cortex now. Keep cutting anything that's holding it back, keeping it stuck, debilitating it, or disempowering it anyway. Cutting. Keep cutting. Now we're going to cut around the amygdala. And this part of the brain is also known for creating anxiety and overwhelm. Cutting. Now we're going to allow all these cords to fall to the ground and all their attachments going down into Mother Earth for transmutation and change, turning darkness into light and love. Now, the universe doesn't like a vacuum, so we are going to fill all these gaps and spaces with this incredible helix of white love light, purple healing energy, and golden liquid love coming down through the crown of our heads, the top of the head, coming down over all the areas that were dark and now being filled with love and light and healing energy, coming down through the crown, down the head, into the mind, around the pineal gland, the amygdala, around the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. Back of the skull, down the back of the neck, to the shoulders, down the face, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, and the jaw, sides of the head, down the neck, into the shoulders, with the throat, filling all these gaps and spaces left behind with this healing, loving, white, purple, and golden liquid love and light. And feel all this energy coursing down your chest, your back, into the heart, into the arms, into the fingertips, into the pelvis, back and front, into the legs, back and front, into the feet, the toes. And allow it to course through your entire body. Now I'm going to get you to see roots coming from your feet and your seat, going down, down, down into Mother Earth. You can maybe hear the roots going through the earth to the core. See it, sense it, feel it, or just know it. Grounding you, rooting you as you take another deep inhale and bring some of this earth energy into your body, allowing yourself to feel more stable, more solid. And when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to your body. Drink lots of water. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you're interested in the program, the 3-month program, then please message me. I'll get the application together and I will send it to you. Remember, this week only until Friday next week. I don't even know what the date is. 28th maybe? Then Friday at midnight, then the $1,000 special will be available to you. 28th, yeah, so the end of the month. Okay, if you need a payment plan, that is possible. So just reach out to me and we'll have a conversation about how many months you need the payment plan for. Keep in mind it's 3-month program. I have allowed people to pay me past that time frame, as long as you honor your word. I would hate that I would allow it and it has happened where I have allowed it to extend and then the persons didn't pay beyond the time that we worked together. So honor yourself, honor me. And if you want to do that and need to do that, then I'm open to it. And as long as you're gonna respect your word and your trust with me. Okay, so have a blessed day. We'll see you on the internet, see you in the group. If you want to keep connected and you're not in the group, please do go into the group. And I'm going to be doing these more often. I've just been really strongly guided to put these things, even the small ones, as a base price. And the reason why is because a lot of us, unfortunately, don't necessarily value free. And so there's a lot of time, energy into these things. And I'd rather 5 people show up that are going to respect that and put a price on it, $47.97. So I just feel into these things. I check in with my higher self and my guides and decide from there what I'm going to do. So I can't tell you if I'm going to do another free masterclass or not. I'll let you know. It's been an honor and a privilege. I hope you enjoyed this. I would appreciate if you would leave me a testimonial, and it could be either post or it could be a video, whatever works for you. You could do it in the group if you feel safer to do it in the group. I have a ton of posts that I did in promoting this, either on my in my group or on my personal page. If you want to do it there, that would be perfect, because then other people are going to see it. I'm going to promote it this week for another week for the recordings. So that's why I really would, the testimonials will help promote it. And the more that people get this information, the more we can change and have more people heal, which is my mission. So have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.